Hello, welcome to my tutorial on Darktable. Darktable is an open source photography workflow application raw developer. It's free. Open source means sort of free, I guess. Rather than paying $30–50 a month for Adobe crap, I'm just doing this. So to get Darktable, go to darktable.org, install and download it. It's downloaded, we'll install it. So I've already got Darktable installed, so I'm updating today. So we'll go yes, next, whatever. Darktable's been installed. Click. Okay, so we get rid of that. Today I want to edit this photo. I took this, I think after river fire, the sun lined up with Duffield Road Street in Redcliffe, Clontarf basically. So I stood at one end as far as I could go and big zoom lens took this photo. This is a Snapseed edit, so this is what Snapseed has done on the Android phone I've got. So I want to recreate this today. So we'll load up Darktable now and just do an upgrade of the database for the new version. So this is just a little bit of initialization. There's a bit of help around. Can be overwhelming, but don't fear. I actually haven't used this yet, so let's see how we go. So the first thing you need to do is you need to copy your photos to your hard drive. So I'm trying to hide my stuff. I have my photos on my hard drive. I've sorted them by date. So these are the photos I want to import today. So I've copied them off my camera onto my hard drive. This is the raw file, and this is what Darktable creates. So yeah, you can see a preview. This preview is literally what you'd see on the back of your camera. So yeah, we need to get this into Darktable. Now I've done it before with like few other things. I've removed this to show you how I do it. So this is on my hard drive. We go back to Darktable, maximize this, add to library, and then I've added places from my hard drive. So these are like shortcuts. So I have a folder for each camera. So I've got two cameras that I regularly use. These are just folders on my hard drive, so I've added them. They're basically a shortcut. So my A7 III, we'll go to that, of course, and then scroll down the bottom and Duffield Road is there. So this is adding it to your library. Your library is what keeps all your photos. Darktable keeps track of which ones you've added and which ones you haven't, so can be useful. You can do searches over here, type in whatever you want. So moon, rise, whatever you want, and go back to what you've done before. I give each folder a name so I know what it is. So Mount Cootha Comet, I got up at 3:30 for that, so there you go. Alright. Okay, so this photo here, we want to recreate it, of course, in Darktable. It is actually car on the wildlife sign, so this one here, 6144. Alright, so double click, this is where we start editing. I've taken a snapshot here of the current edits that I've sort of have tried out for a practice, and I've cleared the history stack. So if we double click on this, double click, download. Okay, so load up the history stack. Oh, I had that shut. So this is all the edits that I've done. You can even see like what I've adjusted, shadows, highlights, you know, like you can see what you've done, and you can take a snapshot and save that for later. You know, you might have a photo you want to do 2 different edits on, so that's useful. You can load them up and review them, but what we want to do is actually start from scratch. You can go to history, click on the bottom one, compress history stack. You will see that it's done a few things. This is sort of automatic, so it's gone through and make sure that like the orientation, the exposure is correct and everything like that. You can just start from there. If that is, you know, causing problems, you can even do it here. Click on the photo, so you want it highlighted, and go discard history and go yes. And if I go back, you'll see that snapshot is still there, so you know it's still remembered it. We can go back. Alright, so the first thing we want to do whenever we edit a photo is address rotation. You can go into the base tab here, and there's rotate and perspective, but there's an easier way. Just right click, hold your mouse button and drag. So that's almost a degree. I'm using the center line here just to sort of fix it up. There you go. Like the trees were pretty vertical, and this bit of the road was vertical. You know, I'm standing on a traffic island a million miles away. My camera says level, but still, you know, it's not quite right. You can do it, of course, with the horizon. Right click, drag, you know, but I'm going to push Control Z to go back. Yeah, that sort of fixed it up, and it's actually, you know, the grid that I have on, it's sort of lining up with that. Good enough, you know, like you don't have to be super pedantic if you don't want to. You can crop, fix that up, you know, crop the other side, you know, whatever you want to do, but I don't want to actually do that, so we'll leave that alone. Incidentally, the grid, so you got rule of thirds, grid, color, you know, what I right clicked on it, so you turn it on with the left click, right click to change it. I'm using global mean all guides, so that gives me the Fibonacci spiral. You know, you can flip it, whatever you want. Just go back that way, just so continuity. Alright, so grid is on. So yeah, first thing we want to do, I would suggest, is color balance. Now, white balance. We do have a white balance here, tab here, but you know, if we change it, it's throwing out an error. But you know, we can do what we want. Decrease the tint normally I do, and increase the thing. It sort of does what you want, you know, but they're going away from this, so we can just reset that. And what we're supposed to do is go to the color tab, calibration, and then the first tab here, chromatic adaptation transform. Click on this little eyedropper. Typically you want to select a shadow, so we'll select the car. You can select wherever, and it will white balance, assuming this is your grey point, you know, your shadow. I'm just going to do that. See how we go. Anyway, that's white balance done. So the next thing we need to do is start increasing the saturation to get it to the sunglasses level there. So color equalizer. I've just started sort of using. We've got all the colors, so you can turn, you know, things up, down, and create, you know, the look that you want here. We will probably turn up the red and the orange, you know, but yeah, I've done some silly things here just to demonstrate some points. So yeah, you can double click on this dot here, this point, and that will reset it back to 0. Double click, reset back to 0, you know. Or if we want to reset the whole thing, we double click anywhere. So you could change this and then go here and change this and reset. Doesn't change this. You know, you're not clicking the main reset button right in the corner here. So reset that. Everything's reset. We'll turn the red up. I don't want to go too crazy. Things start going sort of fluorescent. We can turn down the greens to sort of highlight stuff, you know, maybe a little bit more. You can use your mouse wheel to do fine adjustments. Yeah. We've got a brightness tab too, so we can make that brighter or darker. I don't know if I want to do that, so we'll leave that. So yeah, that's sort of done something, but you know, not quite. You know, that can be good for small adjustments, you know, finer areas. So what I like is color contrast. Now this tab module is immensely powerful. You know, we go full black and white, we can go full Technicolor, Dream, double click, reset. What I sort of like to do for my sort of photography is turn it up to 1.5 about. That sort of gets me where I want to be. You know, it's not the best, it's probably not the best way, but this is what I've sort of got used to doing. Of course, do what you want. Color correction, this creates like a tint, so we can put a blue tint, green tint, you know, all the way around. We'll go sort of over here. I don't like to go all the way to the edge, even though that's actually probably what Snapseed's done. I'm going to go sort of here. That'll do. Let's see how that looks. Alright, color correction. There is an effect tab. So we'll go here and down the bottom, graduated density. This is sort of like a ND, graduated ND filter that you put in front of your camera. Now you can do it in the software. You can flip it, you know. I think the arrows mean that the bottom is being affected. No, that is sort of not quite. We can rotate it and fix it up. I want it sort of there, and I normally do that. So that sort of darkened the foreground, which is what I want. Alright, graduated density done. Alright, let's see what we got. I actually like it better because it's orange. Alright, one thing we can do now is start increasing the sharpness detail. What I suggest if you're just starting out is local contrast. So this immensely powerful, like everything. This is basically looking at each pixel and what's next to it, that pixel, like the different contrast, and increasing it. So if I middle click here with my scroll wheel to zoom in, you can sort of see what it's doing to this car. Soften, and then sort of making it pop. You can go too far, you know, when you're zoomed in you don't know what's going on. Typically, you know, soften. The default's 125, I will go up to 180. This is actually a really good point to sort of point out a new trick. Right click on the pointer, and this gives you a fine adjustment. So this is actually changing it, and it's very fine. I like sort of 180 max, so it's keeping the number in the corner up here. So we get there and click, done. But what we can also do is just right click, you know, and we can type literally on the keyboard 180, enter, and that sets it. You know, that might work for something. It works everywhere, so that might work for you. You know, you don't have to be this pedantic. I wouldn't mind if it was on 179. It's up to you. You know, yeah, that's sort of increased the contrast. You know, the local contrast, so the difference between neighboring pixels. You know, I don't tend to play with it too much, but you can change the mid-tone, that sort of, you know, contrast, where you're putting the contrast, highlights, preserving, you know, play around with it, see what you like. The other thing you can do is over here in the correct tab, it's got the sharpen module. Typically I just turn it all the way up, and we'll see the before and after, off, on. The car really pops now. You know, that's pretty good for printing. You know, that'll help. Like, we're going crazy with contrast, so let's go further. Haze removal. I just turn this on. I don't play with it. So we've turned it on. Turn it off. It sort of gets rid of the haze in the air, cuts through it. I guess that's what it's sort of doing. And finally, denoise. So you know, you're going to have some noise in your photos, even, you know, properly exposed. I did the best I could. Don't judge me. But you know, click, drag. Got a little bit of noise. You know, it's not too bad. I might go here, just sort of show you on the road there. So we can. I've seen this trick. We can turn the ISO up. So this is sort of creating a profile for a higher ISO. So it's sort of, you know, ISO goes up, the noise goes up. So that's sort of fixing it. We can play with this. I've seen people do this, non-local means auto. That sort of can create a cartoony effect. It can make the, you know, real items look like a complete, like just look at how slow my computer is. Yeah, so yeah, this is something you might want to turn off while you're doing something. So if, you know, you're over here playing with a slider and it's just super slow, click click click, you know, see that it's not smooth at all. Go back here, turn the denoise off, go back, somewhat quicker. You know, that might help you if your computer's running a bit slow. I don't want this on. So that's denoise. So we've pretty much reduced and increased reduce the noise, increase the sharpness. Obviously I'm on a tripod millions of kilometers away and I've still got a bit of shake. Maybe this is the lens. It's not too bad here, but it's good enough, you know, for Instagram, or like, you know, I've printed this out, it looks alright. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, now that we've sort of finished editing the photo, we need to export it. And if we go to my hard drive and oh my god, where is it? There it is. Sorry, I'm trying to hide my stuff. So there's nothing here, you know, the photo we're editing, 144, that's there, that's the raw file. This is the settings stored by Darktable. We can't do anything with that. That's Darktable only, so we can't share that social media. So what we need to do is basically develop what we got. We'll export, you know, our settings. So back in Darktable, we go, you know, light table, make sure we've got the photo that we want selected. You can select more than one, you know, hold down shift if you've got multiple, so there's 3 selected there. Hold down control, you know, select multiple, but yeah, we want to, this one, export it. So over here we've got the export drop down here. This will let you export it. We've got many options. I only use file. Well, I just want the JPEG, so we want an 8-bit JPEG. We can adjust the quality. I've set like a width, so the photo will be 1080 pixels wide, so it's small and easy to upload. I've left this at 0. You can put this both at 0 and then you'll get a full quality 24 megapixel in my case picture. Yeah, I want 1080, so I've set the size for the width to 1080 and we just click export. And if we go back to the folder on our hard drive, it's created a Darktable exported folder. So this is where it's going to put the JPEG. It does go through all the modules and applies them to the raw file for the JPEG files that we output, and any moment now it'll appear. Okay, for some reason it took a while. Here we are back again, and that's a JPEG. And if we check the properties, 1080 wide, 1650 high, so it's maintained the 3:2 aspect ratio. We didn't do any cropping, sort of, you know, we did do a rotation, so that lost pixels. So there we go, ready to go on to social media or into the trash. I don't know, what do you want to do with it? If you wanted the full size one, we can reset this back to 0. Select the photo, make sure, and then export again. Churning, well, running slow. So yeah, it's created another file. It hasn't overwritten, and this one will be, open it, full resolution, you know, maximum pixels. So you can print that out, and away you go. So that'll conclude today's tutorial. Hopefully that's helpful for you, and I'll see you in another one maybe.